She always wore my hoodie in the mornings, even in the summer. Big, faded gray with a rip on the sleeve she stitched herself. She said it smelled like me, said it felt like home, and I loved that. I loved how something as small as a hoodie could make a morning feel sacred. Every Sunday we had a little routine. I'd make her coffee exactly the way she liked. Oat milk, a dash of cinnamon, no sugar. And she'd sit on the kitchen counter in that same hoodie, legs swinging, smiling, half asleep. Sometimes we didn't even talk. Just sat there, her fingers tracing lazy circles on my wrist as I cooked, her feet brushing against my hip like she couldn't not be touching me. It was soft. It was ordinary. It was perfect. And I didn't know, back then, that it was also temporary. Her name was Tara. We'd been together for almost 2 years. Not flashy, not messy, just steady. We met at a bookstore of all places. She dropped a stack of poetry books and I helped pick them up. She laughed and told me I looked like I didn't even read. I told her I only read book jackets. 3 dates later, she told me she hated texting but couldn't stop texting me. And that was that. From the start, everything with her felt warm. Even arguments were quiet. She didn't raise her voice. She raised her eyebrows. She didn't walk away. She crossed her arms and waited. She didn't fall into my life. She blended into it, effortlessly. And God, we were close. Late-night drives with music we never agreed on, sharing fries in parking lots, falling asleep tangled and waking up to her pressing her face into my neck like I was her first thought. She'd kiss my shoulder while brushing her teeth, leave notes in my jacket pocket like, "You're the only thing I'd never return." I used to think if love was a place, she was it. Then came the trip. She mentioned it casually over breakfast. "Babe, remember Kayla from college? We're doing a girls' weekend. Just 4 of us. Cabin upstate. Wine, trashy reality TV, and no cell service." She was smiling, excited. I didn't blink. Why would I? She deserved that. Space. Laughter. A few days away with the people who knew her before me. I didn't ask questions. Just kissed her forehead and said, "Take my hoodie in case it gets cold." She grinned and replied, "You know I will." She left on a Friday morning. I helped her pack snacks and fussed over her playlist like some annoying Spotify dad. She rolled her eyes and kissed me twice before backing out of the driveway. I stood at the door waving, feeling proud to have a woman I could trust without a doubt in my body. That was my last normal moment. The first 24 hours were quiet. She texted when they arrived. "Cabin's cute. No signal but found Wi-Fi. Miss you already." She sent me a blurry selfie with a wine glass and fairy lights in the background. She was glowing. I stared at that photo longer than I should have. She looked free, happy, still mine. Saturday morning I was making her Spotify blend when I got the message. From a number I didn't recognize. No text, just a video. My stomach dropped before I even pressed play. Something about the timing, the randomness. The thumbnail showed a group of girls dancing. Nothing strange. Nothing that screamed betrayal, but something felt off. I tapped. The video was shaky, someone recording from a couch. Girls were laughing, singing along to some song, and then the camera panned. And there she was, Tara, in my hoodie, but not alone. She was on a guy's lap. The room felt suddenly too loud. Her arm was draped around his shoulders. She was laughing into his ear like it was private. He had one hand on her thigh, and she wasn't moving it. She wasn't pulling away. She was comfortable, like they'd done this before, like this wasn't new. I stared at the video 5, 6, maybe 7 times. There was no kiss, no obvious cheating, but there was everything else. Comfort, familiarity, permission. It wasn't some drunken mistake. It looked practiced, like I was the only one not in on the joke. I didn't reply to the number. Didn't ask who sent it. Didn't even need context because the hoodie she wore was mine. And that hand on her thigh wasn't. She called me later that night. I let it ring. And then I texted, "How's the cabin?" She replied quick, "So fun. Wi-Fi's trash though. Can't wait to see you." I stared at those words for a long time and I typed out, "One of your friends sent me a video." But then deleted it. I wasn't ready yet. I didn't want to lie. I typed back in a rush, and I didn't want excuses crafted under pressure. I wanted her to return first, look me in the eye. Tell me whatever version of the truth she thought I deserved. That night I didn't sleep. Her side of the bed felt haunted. The pillow smelled like her shampoo. I hated how badly I still wanted her next to me. She came back Sunday evening. I heard her car pull in and my heart jumped, like it hadn't seen the video. She came in smiling, holding a paper bag. "I brought those muffins you love." She stopped mid-sentence. My face must have said everything. She looked confused, a little nervous. "What's wrong?" I looked at her. Looked at that hoodie, the one she wore while curled into someone else. And I asked, "Did you have fun?" She blinked. "Yeah, it was great." "Why?" I stared at her for a few seconds, then just said quietly, "Let's talk tomorrow." And I walked into the bedroom, closed the door, and laid down. Alone. I don't know if she could feel it. The shift. The weight in the air. But I know I felt it. The moment love became doubt. The moment trust stopped being unconscious. And I hadn't even told her what I saw. Yet, I didn't sleep that night. I lay there listening to every creak of the floor, every quiet sound from the living room. She was moving around like everything was fine. Unpacking, brushing her teeth, humming under her breath. That same voice that had whispered, "I love you" to me just a few days ago, now haunted every room in the house. I closed my eyes and tried to remember the last time I felt secure with her. The answer hurt more than I thought it would. The next morning she woke up early and she brought me coffee, placed it gently on the nightstand. No kisses, no morning cuddles, just a soft, guilty kind of smile. Like maybe, just maybe, she felt something was off. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded slowly, sat up, took a sip. Then I asked, "Who was the guy in the cabin?" That smile disappeared instantly. She froze, and that was on my confirmation. Even if she hadn't answered, she already had. "What guy?" That was her first defense. Confusion. "In the video," I said. "The one where you're on his lap, in my hoodie." Her lips parted slightly. She blinked too many times. A full-body flinch without moving an inch. Then came the second stage. Dismissal. It wasn't like that. So there was a guy. It was just a friend, one of Kayla's friends. We were just messing around. It wasn't serious. I stayed silent. She rushed in with more words. "I didn't kiss him. I didn't sleep with him. It wasn't like that. It was just comfortable," I finished. "Like it's been happening." She looked down. Didn't deny it. Didn't say sorry, and she just stood there in my hoodie and let the silence do what her words wouldn't. "How long have you known him?" I asked. "A couple months." "And you've been talking?" "It wasn't anything serious." The sentence that always shows up right after the line gets crossed. I got up, walked past her, and sat on the couch. She followed. Sat on the edge of the armrest like she was afraid to get too close. "Are you going to break up with me?" That question used to feel like a joke between us. Now it sounded like a warning. I looked at her for a long time and took in the eyes I'd used to trust. The mouth that used to kiss me like she meant forever. And I said, "Tell me everything, or I'm gone." She paused, then began. Slow. Shaky. She met him at her gym. He worked there part-time. Started as casual conversation. Harmless, she claimed. He flirted. She brushed it off. Then one day she didn't. Lunches turned into long texts. Texting turned into FaceTiming. And eventually, feelings. "But I never slept with him," she repeated. "I thought I could handle it. I thought it would fade." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because of how familiar this all sounded. "You thought hiding it would make it harmless?" She didn't answer. Because she couldn't. I asked one last question. "Did any of your friends know?" And she hesitated. Just a breath. But it told me enough. "They covered for you?" She nodded, softly. "Only 2 of them. I told them not to say anything. I didn't know how to stop." The silence after that was louder than anything we'd ever screamed. She started to cry, but not the kind that says, "I'm sorry," and the kind that says, "Please don't make me face what I've done." "I loved you," I said. I still do." "No," I said calmly. You loved what I gave you, safety, stability, someone who trusted you so much you thought it would be okay to lie. Her breathing hitched. I never meant to hurt you. You didn't even tell me. I had to find out from someone who probably sent it by mistake. I was going to stop. I was going to block him after the trip. But you didn't. And even now, you're still saying was going to like that makes it better? I got up and walked to the bedroom. She followed again. Please, don't leave like this. I turned around. I'm not leaving. You're not? Number you are. She froze in the doorway. I opened the closet, pulled down her bag, started packing her things, slowly, neatly, not in anger, and just in finality. She didn't stop me. She sat down on the edge of the bed and cried. Not loud, just the kind of cry you do when you realize what's lost isn't coming back. I didn't comfort her. I couldn't. I had done that for 2 years. This moment was mine now. When I handed her the bag, she stood, still in my hoodie. She looked at me. Can I hug you? I shook my head. You hugged him. That was your last one. She didn't argue, just walked toward the door, paused, and said, I ruined the best thing that ever happened to me. I nodded. Yeah, you did. She left. And that was it. It's been a few months now. The hoodie's still in my closet.
I haven't worn it. Haven't thrown it out either. It just sits there. Like the version of me that used to believe her. People always ask how I'm doing. I say, I'm healing. But some nights, I lie awake and remember the way she used to look at me. And then, I remember the way she looked at him. And that's how I know healing isn't a straight line. It's remembering without reacting. It's forgiving without returning. It's letting the truth burn so bright that the lie can't live in the same room anymore. Ever found out through a friend's message? Drop your story? Sometimes the truth finds you before they do.